Hey guys, this is Conrad at GOG Boxing. Today we're going to talk about getting some quickness into our jab. Now I've had some guys since the very first video get in touch with me and say, man, how do you work that double-ended bag? How do you get, I'm not a young guy, how do you get that speed into your punches? Well, the standard answer, some people will tell you can't improve quickness, that you're born with it, whatever. I know I was quicker when I was younger, but you can't develop fast twitch muscle. I actually don't believe that. I think you can teach whatever fast twitch muscle you have to work. So what we're going to do is we're going to get out on the double-ended bag, and I'm going to show you just some basics to try to start practicing that and to get used to the double-ended bag. But keep in mind, these are not, we're not going to be trying to do picture perfect punches today. Now, I'm real big on doing a proper jab and being able to do, getting that, bam, getting that stiff Golovkin type jab out there. But the problem is you can have the Sonny Liston Golovkin jab, all-time great jab, but if you don't hit anybody with it, it doesn't matter. And this is where you got to have that quickness. On the other hand, if you have lots of quickness but you have nothing behind it, people are just going to walk through and it doesn't do you any good. So you got to do one and the other. So today what we're going to do is we're going to do some exercises to wake up, get that fast twitch muscle going, and not worry about trying to throw, the picture perfect jabs. And then there's going to be a second video where we'll get on the heavy bag and we'll practice another exercise that's going to help you get that stiff jab and even get some hooks, some more power into your hooks. But right now we're going to be working on this. So let's go down. We'll start working on that double jabs, triple jabs. And the last thing I'm going to throw in is people will tell you when you do a double jab, for example, to come back this far or even to come back further or not to come back so far. I'm going to tell you it's kind of irrelevant. That's what's great with the double-ended bag, because if you want to throw two jabs and you're coming at a guy, right, he might move a little bit, right? So if you hit him with one but he moves here, or you miss him with the first one, he's fighting you. So you may not have, may not be able to go back and do the picture, the perfect fundamentals. You might have to just twitch and get back over here. So here, bam, a short thing, get it out here. Or you might be able to bop and get really some power on that second jab. It's all fluid. That's why, in a sense, don't worry so much about it. That's why we're going to work on the double-ended bag, and we're going to go there right now. And yes, you can hear by the dogs barking, we are back in the white trash gazebo. And sorry I haven't been around lately. A lot of work. Also got a little sick with some kind of hyper cold or something. I guess it wasn't COVID because I'm still here. And then I got food poisoning. And so for the last week I really was not feeling good. But come back, and today we're going to talk about how do we start getting some quickness in the jab. Now I'm going to do another video that's going to be more on getting power in the jab and the left hook, right? This is just about quickness, and it's on the double-ended bag. Now I love the double-ended bag. I think it's more important than any other piece of equipment you're going to own. But a lot of people don't like it. They feel stupid on it. They can't do it. I see guys doing videos on the double-ended bag where they're kind of going like they're throwing arm punches, or they're going they're going 1 2 1 2. It's like, I don't know, it looks like some sort of messed up martial art. We'll talk about the double-ended bag completely in a different video, how you should really work on it, how there are different ways to work on it. But all we're going to talk about today is how we're going to start getting that quickness in the jab, and chiefly in doubling up your jab, and for practice purposes, for tripling your jab. Now, if you haven't tried it before, you realize, oh, that's not so easy to do, right? Getting these things off. But what you can really do with a double-ended bag is work on developing your fast twitch. So before we get into that though, let's talk about how we're going to string it up. Now I know you'll go to gyms and you see them strung up all different ways, sometimes in very correct ways and very worthwhile ways, sometimes in ways that kind of have to ask questions. In some of the gyms where you see the Mexican-American trainers, they'll have really tight cords, and that double-ended bag, it'll just vibrate about like that, right? And that's one way to handle it, because you'll see those guys and they're practicing their combos, but they're thinking. So they're doing these combos. This one's actually not strung tight like that, so it's jumping around. That's one way to do it. Sometimes you see them where you hit it and the thing goes zing. It's zinging way out wide, right? And it's way loose. Now, I guess you can use those. Sometimes when you buy these things, they come with these little slim, tiny little cords. I don't think they're very useful. What I do is I usually get rid of those cords, and as you can see, I kind of rig it. So I use the bands for like your luggage. So you put them up, so it's got, at least, sometimes I do it a lot tighter, but at least for today's purposes, I've got 3 on top and I've got 1 on the bottom. It's still pretty loose. It's still pretty loose because we're keeping in mind that this is kind of a more beginner video. Now, when we talk about wanting to get that double jab, you'll see guys talking about when you throw the double jab, right, what you need to do is you throw it out and you don't bring it all the way back. You bring it kind of back this far and then you throw it out. Or maybe you bring it back this far and then you throw it out. And the reason why I'm kind of laughing about that is whatever I tell you, if I tell you to bring it out and bring it back this far, if I tell you to bring it out this far, if I tell you about bringing it this far, when you're doing it, unless you're sort of Keanu Reeves Matrix, you know, at one with yourself, to tell you the truth, you probably don't know what you're doing, right? You can't tell unless someone's filming you or unless you're under the eye of a coach. Nowadays we got COVID, it's hard to be under the eye of a coach. So one way to work on that by yourself and to gradually get where you can do it, because I realize a lot of people are not going to be able to do a double-ended jab, even if it's just a toy jab like what I'm doing. Or if you're going, you know, they're not going to be able to do it on the double-ended bag at first because they're not going to be quick enough. When they hit it, it's going to be kind of like a paw, and that ball's not going to bounce or anything. But that double-ended bag, if you use it, it will automatically kind of generate your jab, and it will turn it into, it will go back as far as it needs to go, right? And that's one of the things that's so valuable about it. But how are you going to get started? Okay, first of all, like I said, if you can get a hold of a double-ended bag, string it up so it's not super loose, but for now it's not super tight. Later you can tighten it and get where you're really shooting fast jabs. But right now we're just going to keep it kind of at a medium. And what you do is, before you, don't get on there and get tense and try to do it, because you'll never do it that way. You'll never do it that way. What I want you to do is think about it like this. Think about, you know, when you're dribbling a basketball and it's loose, in the beginning, think about it being loose. Don't think about tightening your fist so much or tightening your shoulder. Remember that when you throw a jab, it starts from the toe, the hip, the shoulder, and then bam, and you can pull back when you're doing that, especially if you're doing a step forward Golovkin jab to get power. You're never really doing it just with your arms. Even on the double-ended jab, the double jab or the triple jab, you're not going to do it just with your arms, because one, your arm is going to get worn out, and two, it'll be useless, right? Because it won't have anything on it. So what you do is, when you start, get on that double-ended bag, and it doesn't matter what people think about you if they're looking at you. Think about just tapping, like you're tapping a basketball. Okay. Right now I'm not using my body. I'm just tapping to convince my mind that I can do it. Then what you do, get in a stance. You don't have to get in a high guard stance, but get in a stance. You don't have to have your hand all the way back. Right now, what we're doing, get loose, and let's start just tapping it. See, I'm not even closing my fist. I'm just tapping it to get a rhythm, right? After you get where that feels okay, then what you do, double taps, exactly. So, pop, 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 whoops, except try to do it straight. So, pop, 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 pop. I'm not doing it hard. I'm not doing it hard. If it gets offline right now, it's just an exercise, straighten it out. But each time, using a little bit of a step and a twitch, because your jab should be twitch of the body. Okay. Pop, 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 pop. If it gets off kilter, pop, 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 but loose. See, I started getting tense. Now, you say, well, those jabs, that's not going to help you any. All you're doing is developing some fast twitch, okay? Then, what I want you to do, little 3 jabs, pause, then 2 jabs. So, now if your shoulder's getting tired or something, get loose, okay? So here we go. So, pop, 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 right? Try to do that. So, pop, 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 right? And now, what's happening when I'm doing that? I'm doing little steps, twitches, but I'm not trying to do it all with my arm. If I try to do it with all my arm, I won't be able to do it. So, after you get where you can do that, what I just did, so it's just 3 and a 2. Come on, dogs. Hey, They might bark a little bit today. They were inside a lot because they were also sick. So after you get, we can do a 3 and a 2. So, whoop, ha, I missed it. 3 and a 2. Then start moving around a little bit this whole time. And if you get where you're not doing it, go back to like thinking like basketball. Just tap it. Ba, 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 ba. But every time I'm using these tiny little steps and I'm twitching my foot. Then ba, 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 ba. Then ba, 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 ba. You see? Little steps. I'm developing some stamina and these little fast twitches. Now, again, what I'm doing, that's not a jab jab. That's developing these fast twitch muscles. Then, after you get where you can do what I just did without really thinking too hard about it, right? Then start experimenting. Come in, and when you start your workout, go ahead and do these things to start every workout, right? Then come in and think, okay, if I do a jab, what if I do a jab straight right? Right? Now, what I want to do, double jab straight right, but don't get tense. Think, if you can't do it at first, then make it a little bit, but keep it loose. Then, see, now start moving around. When you're moving around, you'll find that it's easier, right? Right? So, now, if you can get where you can do that double jab right hand, see if you can do a triple jab right hand off the move. So, right? How do you get now? See what I just did? Like I said, some of you guys are going to be young, you can be super quick. It's a matter of coordination and getting some fast twitch. I'm old, I'm 53, I'm no longer that quick, but I can still do it, especially if I get warmed up. You don't, no, I can get fast when I'm warmed up. Now, if you get where you can do that, do what I just did. So a triple jab and then a right hand. And we're not worrying about, you're not knocking somebody out with these little triple jab punches. What's going to happen is you're going to have that fast twitch and you're going to do some other exercises that have a stiff job, and bam, you're going to be able to shoot that jab, and it's going to have some power, and you're going to straighten it on them, right? But now, if you can get where you can do 3 right now, can you get 4? So first, how do you start? How do you start 4? Let's just dribble the basketball again. Right? See, that was 4. Now, see, I was going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So, right? You just start doing that drill. Then, let's try to make it a little bit more into. Now, you're never going to throw, I don't think, unless you're super quick. You're not going to throw 4 jabs on somebody and then hit them. I don't think they're going to let you do that. But okay, got some stuff down here. Getting the camera. So, but okay. So, whoop. So, now it's almost impossible. So, now, after you get where you can get 3 jabs or whatever, move around and keep shooting that 1 jab off, right? So let's do 2 and then 3. All right, now, some of this is getting a little sloppy. Okay, that's okay. We are trying to we develop this fast twitch. When you are, again, think, and when you start getting tight and you can't do it, go back, think about the looseness, the toe, the hip, the shoulder, the jab, the toe, then just dribble it some. Then go back and throw that jab again. So, right? Okay, now, have fun with that. You can tell I've been sick, a little out of breath already today. But you can gradually build it up. You can gradually build it up and get where you can do it. I can do it, you can do it. You can probably do it a lot better than me, to tell you the truth. It won't take you that long. Otherwise, see you soon. Like, subscribe, work with it. Don't get down. Believe in yourself. and have fun.